Hey, everybody, this is Dr. Jacob Allen Spikes from live from Long Island, New York, where Google is giving me a knockout blow today after hours.
Yeah, a little bit of a hit there.
Yeah, one of my big holdings. I think it's my third biggest.
Well, if you owned Palantir, you'd be even because Palantir went up 25%.
I owned it when it was like seven, and I don't own it now. So
Right.
I made a little boo-boo with Palantir somewhere along the lines. But I can't complain, doing okay, and you know, doing very good all in all. What I could say is over the last few months, the little drips and drabs that I've been buying have not worked out. The
Hmm.
little I bought about five bios, all down, every one of them.
Yeah. Bios.
Yeah, I got badly in Novice.
Yeah, Novus, right. Novus has been mean to us. Sava's been mean to us.
Recent purchases have been not been cooperating. I added to Intelia. That's a disaster. What else?
Maybe they're not going to cure this Alzheimer's.
Candle is no good. Avanex not doing well.
I'm deep in that one.
Arenia Pharmaceuticals not doing well. Mankind, I added that back, not doing well. So
Yeah.
I think that's about it. I added five bios, all getting creamed. I should
Right,
know.
this,
So what does
this
that tell
show,
you? What
this
does
show
that
used to
tell
be
you?
only about bios.
I should know to stay away from bios.
This show used to only be about bios, especially during COVID.
I know that. IKT, there's another one that I'm getting killed.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. That one's I'm still losing money on that.
I'm losing more money. I recently came back into that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and then that one that cabinet guy gave us, I bought a little of that, losing.
All right. Right. That was when I was on the operating table during that time.
And then Arjon's Jeep Park, I bought some of that, losing. So I rattled off about 10 losers, and all of that has been within the last couple of months.
Right. Let's see. Well, my favorite Lily is up today.
You still own that?
Oh yeah, I'm not getting out of that one. That's for the year.
Yeah.
I think pretty much that'll be the only one I keep over time.
I think BMY reports after the close.
Bristol Myers.
Eliquis is going off patent, so I'd be careful about that one.
Oh boy.
What other things I bought might be up marginally, like AEM, the gold miner, and Wheaton Silver, Wheaton Precious Metals, WPM, making money there.
Gold is up, but silver's down. Silver's actually up too today, 2%.
Silver came up a few pennies.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was taking a hit earlier in the day.
I think it was as low as $30 or even busted but the downside 30 recently. So it's come back up to like 32.50 around there. And gold is making new highs, right?
Gold is making new highs, yeah.
So that's good. And Bitcoin I said it's going to hover around that 100,000. What has it done? It's hovered around the 100,000.
Yeah.
Either side of it.
I don't and Ethereum hasn't really, Ethereum looks like it's completely independent.
Ethereum looks like it's going to zero. I don't know.
Well, better last longer than max.
Actually, any crypto other than Bitcoin, and even that I'm scared. I'm a little scared of.
Doge.
I'm in it, and I've made a lot of money with it, but it's only been Bitcoin that I made money with. I wouldn't touch any meme coin, altcoin, stable coin, any of those that stuff. Not for me.
What are you doing with your Wolf? Come on.
I still have tons of it.
Well, you sold all of it, and then you bought back in.
Yes, I sold all of it. I made very good money on it, and I bought back in, but I still have it.
Where did you get in at? Where did you get in at?
I sold it at 690, $6.90.
And then you got back in around what, 3 and change?
5.25.
But it's 5.14 now, so.
My average on Wolf is like under 5.
That's good. So you're positive in there.
Yeah,
I
positive.
think it will reach near 7 again.
That's another one that I bought recently. I didn't never owned it, so.
Well, right. And like you said, if it's an energy play too, then I'm going to hold on to it for a little while.
And then I'm not counting the little things I'm doing, like I'm adding back some NVIDIA that I had sold at higher levels. I added back some today.
Well, you're figuring you've been saying that's $140 stock, if not.
It's $180 stock.
Well, for the short term.
The analysts, I think some analysts the other day put a price target 135 on it.
135?
No, there's a lot of negativity going around, especially with deep seek.
Yeah.
Last time I was kidding around about deep seek, calling it deep doo-doo, but
right.
The reality is it seems to be as good as ChatGPT.
Well, just conceptually speaking, there's no monopoly on AI, quantum computing, all of them. They're all just as volatile as anything else. They're all pie in the sky. I'm still waiting for my self-driving stuff to finally come back, but it hasn't.
It took the Chinese to be bigger than us and make it open source.
Right.
And I think they're doing it for free now. Like ChatGPT, they charge $200.
Right. You can download it for free, I think.
You get an older generation.
I haven't tried it, but I think so.
But yeah, I mean, like, if you ask it to cheat on your college classes, it does a fine job.
People I know who have used it say it seems comparable, if not better, to ChatGPT.
Oh, you're talking about the new one? Yeah.
Deep seek.
I mean, like I said, if you're just using it to write a composition or something, or just to to do what Google would have done.
But I don't think it's
how sophisticated do you need to be? Yeah, if you need it to develop new polymers, then you want it to be a little bit smarter.
Not an NVIDIA killer. No way, because you still need power.
Can it help us pick stocks?
It could do that.
We could. Probably could.
And even probably some strategies for options.
I was looking at the SPX chart from 1929, just for fun.
Oh, the good old days.
I drew a trend line, not from 1929, but from 2009. The market of the crash, financial crisis, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that big crash.
It was
1929. 09 was the bottom, right?
You said the crash was 1929, right?
That was one crash.
That was the big one, the Great Depression.
Yeah. So the 100-year anniversary is very close.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think we crashed.
Hello, JD.
I think there's a chance we crash this year. It could take us back to that.
I mean, a crash is not a 600-point drop. Crash in the magnitude you're talking about. But a $2,000 drop in a couple of days?
Yeah, I think it could do that. I don't know if it'll be a couple of days or a couple of months, but probably a couple of months.
Right. Well, the question is distinguishing a crash from a bear market, because 10%.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a bear market this year. But first, there may be more room, 10% more on the upside, or maybe more, like Omar's calling for.
Yeah, Professor Omar's calling for a little bit of a melt up before the
Yeah, I've been calling for the melt up all along, but I think the melt up when we weren't looking may have happened. That 610 rather, might have been it for SPY 611, wherever it went.
Yeah, you called 610, I think, and you said
I called 610 when it was like 500. If you recall, and everyone thought I was crazy.
Yes, I recall.
I know, I did. But
now when I look at the chart of the SPX, I could look at it 3 or 4 different ways. Let's take a look at the chart.
Yeah,
from 1929.
Not all from 2009.
Okay. How did you get that data anyway?
It's 5 year data. I just clicked on 5, and it gives you more.
And it goes back. It goes that far back.
Or
There's
maybe
something called
I must have clicked on all.
there is something called Max. You can click on Max.
I clicked Max or something. I don't know.
Not on Yahoo. Not on Yahoo, because Yahoo doesn't go back that far anymore. Not unless you want to pay money.
I went to Yahoo. I'll show you.
Okay.
You can see my screen. You see that?
Wow.
The bottom hit is 2009. The market low.
Sure.
That's where it bottomed in the great financial crisis, and it went straight up. I mean, with the one big correction from just recently to
2022.
20. That's 2022, right?
Yep. That was the year of the kill.
Yeah. So that took us down to SPY 348 or SPX. I don't know whatever corresponds. 3491 around there, something like that. So I drew the chart. I drew the trend line from 2009, and I think if we get a correction this year, it'll come down to this trend line.
What? That much?
Yeah,
I think so.
I do. I think you might want to draw the line here.
Yeah, I would draw the line to the 2003 bottom.
Yeah, to the 2023.
2023 bottom, yeah. Because that COVID bottom's a little artificial.
Let me draw that October low. That was October of 20.
Right, October of 23.
So if you see where it intersects the trend line coming back from 2009, that's 7. Is that 7 this year, right? 7? No, it's not. That's way out there. That's 2030 where it intersects. But if we get
probably the 100-year anniversary.
2030. Yeah, that's right. It could be 2020.
Some sort of poetry on that.
Well, if you look at this chart, it's saying that probably 2029 we get a correction that brings us back to where we were in 23 of October, which is possible, I suppose. But let me take a more realistic time frame. 5 years.
Okay.
This looks more optimistic, doesn't it? The 5 year time frame.
Yeah.
It looks like if you look at this time frame, you see a nice trend line, and the corrections would be not bad at all.
You're only showing 2 years of that or 5 years, though, Dr. J.
What's that?
I said you're only showing 2 years of that 5 years.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So so in terms of a bigger picture, maybe if you're pulling back like that, yeah, there you go. Okay. Because I was looking to match up that that first upswing and then the correction.
That's this one, which actually went below the trend line.
Yeah, that was the COVID one. I wouldn't even go that far low, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's the COVID low of 2020.
Right, which we recovered right away. Those of us who actually put some money in.
It does look to be a little bit of a trend line through here.
Yeah.
I could try to draw that in.
Yeah, that was the one I was sort of looking at.
I lost it.
Oh, you got it. Maybe you did lose it.
I was thinking from here.
Yeah, that from there to there, right. was thinking the same thing.
Well, look at that. It's a perfect trend line. It's, well, close enough to perfect.
You think this could happen this year or in 2029?
Well, 2029 is a scary looking collapse, but it's possible we go back to SPX 4000 in 2029.
By 2029, we might be living in the jungles with sticks and rocks.
Who knows? Right now, we had a upward trend line since the COVID lows. And what year is this? 2022. Oh, this is a 2022 low.
Yeah, that's the October.
Yeah, that was the crash we had from COVID, right?
That was the crash after COVID.
Or the crash after COVID. And we have this trend line which reflects that.
Yeah, this is the one. This is the one I would look towards in terms of anything that's reasonable in the way of a correction.
Well, then it looks like this low would be a target.
There you go.
Let me draw that in.
Are we talking correction or crash?
Let's see. You tell me. I'll draw it in. This low looks like a reasonable target.
Right.
That would be SPY 510 around there.
Okay.
Or SPX.
That's definitely a feasible place to see this go back to.
Yeah. In the meanwhile, Professor Omar is looking for another hit of the upper trend line that we're experiencing. So let's draw that in. Let's try to see what he's looking at. Something like
It would be that slope right there. Yeah, indeed.
that's what he's looking at.
Right.
Which would take us up to about, well, if it happens up here, that would be 65.18. I mean, I just picked an arbitrary point.
Right.
It could happen somewhere along this upper trend line. I think that's what Professor Omar is getting at. He's expecting one more hit up here before a collapse. Right now, the collapse that he's looking at, if we go down, I think he said 57.85 around here, around the low of 2023, 713. There was a low put in at 57.73. He's looking at that, this pivot point. So if we correct, his thinking is we correct to just here, right about here, and then we go back up and test that upper trend line again, and then finally collapse. And he's looking at a collapse that'll take us to this trend line, I think.
Right.
So, I mean, it's right now, if you just look at the channel we have going for the SPX, bullish. It's bullish. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It's bullish. So right now, there could be more to the bull before we could get a correction along the way, like Professor Omar said we could come down to 57.73 and then continue going up. That would just take us down to this line here, where there's support. I'm thinking probably the most probable scenario is that we continue up for a while, whatever the while is, until we collapse. That's my feeling. I'm not as good as Omar to say we're going to go down here and then go there and then finally collapse.
Right. I know. Well, he's looking for his W's.
Yeah, he's looking for a lot of different in between intermezzos. I'll just say, broadly speaking, I think we get a melt up to maybe S&P, who knows, 6,700 even, something
Wow.
like that, and then a big drop down to at least this line at 51.43 at least. So that's how I see it. All right, we've spent a lot of time on SPY.
Yeah. Mantis is talking about a Novus on the chats.
Oh, all right, I'll take a look at it. It issued a public offering, right?
No, he said that some partnership didn't go through, so it's going to have to raise. Either that or the warrants will have to kick in.
Yeah, I think they said that they announced a raise already. Public offering of some kind, something that would be dilutive, which is why
You mean more dilutive than what happened in the last 2 days?
probably. Well, I'm not sure what the offer, what the terms of the offering are.
Gotcha.
I haven't been following the stock. I don't own it. I have enough trouble following what I do own.
Yeah, but this was one of our one of our hopes that if this
It's still one of
scourge would get cured.
It is still one of my hopes as a Parkinson's patient, but not an investor.
Gotcha.
I'll take the pill, but I won't buy the stock.
Well, it's pretty much counter to the philosophy of Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
So you think taking the pill is less dangerous than buying the stock?
I think it's more of a danger to your health buying the stock at this point.
Yeah, I know. It's not a happy chart.
Well, if you want to be optimistic, you say we've hit the bottom, we're consolidating.
I know, but I can't throw any more good money after this. I just can't.
The bottom could be here at whatever that is. I don't know what that is. What is it trading at now? Oh, it broke that. I didn't notice. So already bottom, way below. It's throw it out.
Oh no! Yesterday was devastating.
Dr. J.
Take whatever they give you and and buy something else.
Could you do 5-year on this guy?
Why? It's busted.
Because because back in the day when there was hope.
It looks like
No. 5 years. Just click on 5 years.
It looks like it's all over. All over, but the shouting.
All over.
Forget this. I mean, anything is possible, but the odds are not good. Just looking at the chart. So you want to keep it, fine, but
it's on a tax deferred account, and I'm already down like 90% of my money. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell what I have.
You could ride something else up. I don't know what BioDrac is. It's so hard. I really don't know. What is it? IDK? I don't know.
Right.
No, the other one is I know that. IKT. One is I know that. I don't know is a different stock.
Oh, okay.
This is the one that Meek is still on. I don't know. We haven't heard his opinion on this in quite a while.
They also busted support. It's another.
Yeah. This is another one that I'm just sort of waiting for Godot.
Another broken stock, but a little bit less broken than a Novus, maybe. The early stage companies. The Novus a little doing phase 3. I don't know what this is doing. So Novus is not that early stage, but.
Do you want to put Anavex up just because that's the only one that hasn't given bad news yet? AVXL.
If I had to guess, I'd guess this is going back to around $1.11 or $1. If I had to guess, I own some. I'll probably get rid of it.
Well, Linus is asking about Palantir. Hopefully, he's got some in it.
I'm hoping. Palantir they claim the stock of the future, so who knows? In the meanwhile, it might have run a little too fast.
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden when Nvidia became famous, then the CEO started showing up in a lot of media. He was even on Bill Maher. He was on a bunch of the news shows.
If you think from the chart it ran up a little too fast and furious,
Well, it's got the hype that everything else does.
if you own it, it's not against the law to sell some, right? If you made a profit on it, it's not against the law to take some
And
profit.
then tip back up at the middle of that big green candle.
Yeah, the middle, that's a good re-entry spot, definitely. $50.96. Why not? Cut in half. It could easily happen on any downturn. Of course, it's a bull market and AI is hot, so who knows where it stops running. If it breaks through these highs, it could go another 20, 25 points.
Yeah, well, it went 25% just today.
What's another 25?
Yeah, exactly. Tomorrow.
I mean, it could also easily retest the $50 level or test the $50 level. It's due for that kind of correction, a big one. NVIDIA is what I bought today. I believe you can't have too fast a chip. That's what I believe.
As long as it doesn't run too hot.
It was up today. I picked it up at right about where it closed, I guess. 118 and change. I added to my position. I had sold some at 135. So I'm really buying back what I sold. And I'll continue to do that. I like it. I know it busted its upward trend line, but it'll get back in gear. I think earnings will. You may need to wait for earnings to get a nice pop. I think you will get a nice pop on earnings.
And when's that? I think that's the end of next month or something.
The end of this month.
Oh, February. We're already in February at the end of this month.
Well, it's following the trend line from the bottom of it instead of the top of it. So what was support may become resistance. Maybe it might go a little lower. Possible. If it goes lower, I probably will continue to add. That's been my philosophy. Stay with this one. I'm staying with this one.
Right. Well, anything substantially below 140, like in the 120s, is probably decent enough price.
This one looks good to me. It has a double top, I know, which is scary.
Which is that?
It has a double top at 151, I think. Right up here, you see.
Oh, yeah.
Google.
Yeah, I think Google's going to hit the 50. Can you do the 50 moving average?
I'm getting killed in after hours. This looks like an interesting support area. Let me draw it in. Right in here, this area.
How much is that?
Right where it's trading now, right? That looks like support.
Dr. J, could you do the 50-day moving average, just the 50?
Sure.
Just hit done. Done. So right now,
it's trading at the old highs up here at 190. That's where it is now. It's by the morning it could be up. You never know with these crazy stocks.
I know, exactly.
could you one more time? Could you do 6 months or 3 months?
Sure.
It's right there at the bottom. No, not moving average. Not moving average. Just the chart where it says 6 months on the bottom. Okay, slide. You see.
Yeah, you're looking for that gap.
Yeah, I think it's gonna fill that area 189. Where the 50? What's the 50 here? Where you got
181. This area 185. This area.
Okay.
Are you talking about just where the
right there? That's what I'm thinking.
Sure, it's a nice trend line. Definitely.
That's what I'm thinking.
Huh.
It's almost there. I mean, it's 192 right now.
I have a lot of Google, otherwise I'd probably add, but I do have a lot. So probably won't add. I'll just ride out the storm.
Yeah, I mean, you just took you got a nice pop, and then it gave some back. So what's the big deal?
Yeah. Kamal's looking at this area.
No, it's certainly be attractive if it hits the lower end of that gap. It's certainly be attractive.
Yeah. All right, let's look at Bitcoin and call it a day. Bitcoin and Wolf.
That's good.
I said it was going to hover around that $100 level, and it's really hovering around the 50. So it's down off the recent highs, but basically holding its own. Bitcoin looks good. Doesn't look like it's ready to bust out yet, but it looks like it'll probably continue in this interval between 90,000 and wherever the top was. Let me put that in.
Like 105.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's trading very, very well in this interval. 91,000 over here. And the top right around here. There you go. It's like 16,000 interval, right?
Yeah, that's what they were saying on CNBC today. They were noting that it's been in that range bound.
Yeah, it's really range bound. When it breaks out, you figure it adds tax on another 16,000, something like that. So 116 was 106 is a high.
112.
122 at least. Wouldn't you think? When it gets
the length of that, I got it.
Yeah. Let's see what
like you're saying, it'll just jump into the next band of the same height.
Yeah, let's see what the last jump was. From 72 to 90, it's 18,000. So roughly 18,000.
Okay.
See, this was the last jump from these highs. It's about 73,000 to 190, 17,000. Yeah, that's about right. So I think you'll see something repeat like this. Tack on 17,000 to the top. You get your new high for Bitcoin at in the 120s. And finally, Wolf. And we're done.
Now, Wolf doesn't closely track, right? Because you said it had other things happening.
No,
Yeah,
it's an energy play.
So it's not yet. That wasn't tracking at all, actually.
It was up today when Bitcoin was down.
Right, and it's on a down. It's been on a general downtrend.
Yeah, it has, but I think the chart looks good.
Do you see that gap? It's gonna.
Yeah, I think it fills this gap. That'll take us to the close.
Right into that gap.
Not that gap.
No, yeah, that gap. Yeah. Right there to the right.
This gap.
Yep, this one.
That would be
which is the 50, roughly the 50.
632.
Yeah,
632. I like that target, Kamal. 632.
Yep.
And I think it's going to get there. I think we broke north of this downward trend line. How many? It's only got another week to go when it gets to this point.
Yeah, that's not really much of a bull flag.
This triangle is gonna head back up to the 50. That's a very good target.
I wish that was more pronounced. Could you go back a little bit further in history?
Yeah.
Just to get a look at whether or not that is a bull or a bear flag. All right, maybe. I can see that.
It's given back its whole gain though.
But this is why Kamal's been playing this as a channel play.
Yeah. No, it looks good now. I think at this point, at this
It's
juncture,
certainly worth getting in.
I think it looks good. My opinion, it looks good.
Maybe not. Well, maybe it'll hold. Who knows?
So Atlantis is still holding on for dear life with
Novus.
Novus and Cabinet Guy. I wonder if he's holding on with MVST.
And the guys are talking TGTX. Which one is that again?
That's Biodrec.
Okay. Well,
Sick of Biodrec. I don't want to look at it.
okay. Maybe we'll look at it on Thursday.
All right, so that's it for today. Do your own due diligence. Subscribe, give us a like, tell your friends about us, and don't do what we do, but don't not do what we do.
Don't do what we say either.
This
Do
is
what
for
we do, and don't not
educational purposes only.
do
It's
your
for
own.
educational purposes only.
You're responsible for your own green stuff. We take no responsibility. We're not professionals. We're very good amateurs. Adios, amigos, and ciao.
Bye bye.